I was asked by a friend to share some breathing practices, and that's all they said. Can you share some breathing practices? So I'm going to share some breathing practices that can work well. The first one is a breathing practice that is often used in pregnancy, actually, during labour, but it works for all of us. And it's called the golden thread breath. And in it, you imagine when you breathe out through your mouth, that there's a golden thread flowing out of your mouth. And if you don't like the idea of a golden thread, then you can imagine that you're blowing a candle and causing it to flicker. So you're causing the flame to flicker like that. Because you're doing a visualization at the same time as the breathing practice, it's a nice idea to have the eyes closed, but you can always have the eyes open if you prefer. So you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through your mouth, and it looks like this. So because the lips are almost closed, it takes quite a while for the out-breath to occur, and also because you're imagining a really thin thread coming out or a flickering candle, that also helps the breath to slow. And when the breath slows, then we can calm down our nervous system. Anything that causes the out-breath to be a little bit longer helps to bring us to a little bit more of a state of calm. So let's do 5 breaths together. So those were my 5 breaths. You might have found that your breath was shorter, or maybe hearing my voice coming back, you think, oh, I haven't finished my 5 breaths left. That's fine. We all breathe at different rates. The important thing to note when we do a breathing practice is that different breathing practices aren't for everyone. So if you do this practice and you think, you know what, I'm really not enjoying this, or this isn't working for me, or it's causing me to feel stressed, then leave it. You don't have to make the effort to try and do a breathing practice that doesn't feel right. But what it can be worth doing is to maybe note down how you feel. So what you might do is think, how do I feel now? And maybe you don't know, but maybe there's a sensation in your body that you might be able to notice. And it's fine to write down, I don't know how I feel now. That's a valid feeling. And then you might want to do this breathing practice. Maybe we'll do 10 breaths this time. And then after you've completed the practice, have a little check-in again. How do I feel now? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time to notice how you feel. Maybe you can notice how fast you can feel your heart beating. You might even sigh. I've just had a little sigh. And then when you've had a chance to notice, maybe even written it down, then we can do 10 breaths together. And don't expect your breaths to be the same length as mine. You might finish this practice before me. You might finish this practice after me. 10's quite good because you've got 10 fingers and thumbs. So it's a good, easy way to count. So I'm going to share with you now the difference that made for me. So I noticed that I sighed before I started the breathing practice, so that was me releasing tension. And as I was doing the practice, I noticed thoughts coming and going. And now that I've completed the practice, I can feel, it feels a little bit softer, a little bit fuzzy at the edges. I feel a little bit like things have slowed down a bit for me. And that's doing the practice while doing a video on YouTube. So it might have been even more powerful if I'd done it without doing the video. So that we did 5 breaths and then we did 10 breaths. So a very short, small practice can make all the difference. And I have on occasion had a little diary and done a daily breathing practice diary, and it can be really interesting to watch how things change as you do that. So I hope you enjoyed this golden thread breath practice. Thank you for joining me. This is Julia Davis of Finchley Yoga.